Hello everyone and welcome to a very special episode of The Fan, coming to you from an unusual venue for the opener. This is Bradman Oval in Bowral in the Southern Highlands of New South Wales. That's about a 90-minute drive southwest of Sydney. Why are we here? Well, possibly for the first time on any show, we're going to talk about the links between the great Sir Donald Bradman and rugby league. There are some cracking stories, but as I say, they may never have been told before. Right then, consider this segment number one, Sir Donald Bradman and rugby league. Now, it's a story we've told on the show before, but it's too good not to revisit today because Sir Donald Bradman is a central figure, but so too is Jack Scott, the story of Jack Scott. Who is Jack Scott? Well, on April 20, 1908, the first day of Premiership Rugby League in Australia, the games were played simultaneously. Birchgrove Oval and at Wentworth Park. It is at Wentworth Park where the first premiership try is scored. It's by Jack Scott, 20-year-old Newtown centre. So Jack's the first ever try scorer. Now, Jack only played a couple of years of first-grade rugby league because his first sporting love was cricket. He was a very good bowler, took over 200 first-class wickets, played most of those games for New South Wales. But in 1925, at age 37, he had a change of states. He moved to South Australia. 2 years later, at age 39, so 1927, he's still bowling well enough to make the South Australian team. And on this particular day, Sheffield Shield, they're due to play New South Wales at Adelaide Oval. And there's this kid in the New South Wales side about to make his first-class debut, and they reckon he's pretty good. His name's Bradman, Don Bradman. Bradman comes in on day one, batting at number 7, finishes the day 65 not out. The next day, he would go on to make a ton on debut. He's out for 118. This is 1927. Who do you think took Bradman's wicket the first time he's ever out in first-class cricket? That's right, Jack Scott, the man who 19 years earlier had scored the first ever try in rugby league. In 1927, he's the first man to get Bradman out. That's a remarkable story. We've got more remarkable stories about Sir Donald Bradman and rugby league still to come. Welcome back to our special edition of The Fan, coming to you from Bowral, the home of Sir Donald Bradman in the Southern Highlands of New South Wales, about a 90-minute drive from Sydney. And I'm in front of the Bowral Public School right now. Now, did you know this about Sir Donald Bradman? He only attended school until he was 14. And it is here that he plays another sport. And this is where we're going to clear things up once and for all. In a lot of writings about Sir Donald Bradman's junior sporting career, of course, it talks about his cricket. He was a great tennis player. He actually gave away cricket at one stage to concentrate on his tennis and then quickly came back to cricket. But it is written that he played rugby. Rugby union? No, he did not. Donald Bradman played rugby league only for Bowral Public School as a 12-year-old. Now, rugby league historian Terry Williams is the only person I know who ever contacted Sir Donald Bradman and asked him about this. And Sir Donald Bradman wrote back a handwritten letter stating, yes, I liked rugby league. My career was short. I played fullback at Bowral Public School in 1920. I was too small and wasn't real good at it. But that's enough proof for all of us, from the horse's mouth, with respect, that Sir Donald Bradman, you can now say, great cricketer and former rugby league fullback. A great tale, you've heard it here first on The Fan. Well, what a show it's been, but there is one more Don Bradman story in rugby league which we haven't told yet, but we'll tell it right now. And it also proves the respect that England and their sports fan had for our man. It's the 1938 Challenge Cup final at Wembley. This is probably Don Bradman's last link to rugby league, to be honest. He is invited by the British Rugby League, to hand out the Challenge Cup trophy to the winners at Wembley. It's the 1938 final between Salford and the mighty Barrow Raiders. The Barrow Raiders playing at Wembley for the first time. So we finished the show this week with this magical vision that finishes with the greatest Australian sportsman of all time, Don Bradman, taking centre stage.
For most of the second half, the ball swings from end to end, neither here nor there. Not for long, anyway. but it spends just the extra time at the Barrow end to give Salford the victory by 7 points to 4. So the Rugby League Cup is presented to the winners by Don Bradman, and Lancashire cheer. And if Barrow had won, Lancashire would have cheered just the same. But Salford's captain obviously feels like a burglar who's trying to escape with the swag.